Hey guys, it's Demo and welcome back to my channel. Today I've got a nice little video set up for you guys. This is going to be an advanced Zeus tutorial. It's going to show a lot of different advanced features that you might not have known about or you might not use enough to really learn about. And it's going to show you, I'm going to show you guys how to set up a very basic, well this is actually kind of an advanced Guerilla scenario for you and your buddies. Now, the first thing that you want to do, obviously, is pick a respawn location. Pick a spot where the players will load in, and this will be the first thing that they see, and it'll also give you some setting of control over how the mission will play out. So what I did was I picked this island right here. Now what this does is it gives me a control over A. My players aren't going to go running off into the distance. They're not going to do anything I don't really want them to do at the beginning. And it controls when the mission starts. So Zeus, you start a lobby, you set up the mission, and you're waiting for players to load in. You don't necessarily want one guy to start the mission by himself. You want it to be a team-based objective, which is what this is. This is a guerrilla mission. So picked an objective. The first objective for them is to get into this chopper. So what did I do? Lock the chopper. Cool. So the mission can't start until I unlock that chopper. Perfect. So the second thing you want to do, make sure that you set up a loadout. You go right here, create a loadout thing, and then make sure that you only select what you want them to have. So I selected basic rifleman. All they'll have is basic rifleman. If you really want to get into the nitty gritty, you can go under survivor. Second thing that you want to do, check up on set what time you want the mission to be. Do you want it to be a night mission? Do you want it to be foggy, raining? Do you want it to be bright out, etc., etc.? I have an overcast night mission, so yes. So I set up this little camp, and a lot of people don't know about this, which surprises me, but this is like one of the coolest features. Is under respawns, you've got your basic players respawn, you've got your basic vehicle respawn, and that's it, right? No. You go under units, you go under empty. Let's just close all this real quick. And then you go under the second other, the interactive one. There's respawn. Oh, look at that. So you've got campsites, and there's two different things. There's tents and there's sleeping bags. Sleeping bags can be rolled up into backpacks, and they function as an individual respawn. The player that picks it up and sets it up, it'll allow him to respawn on that sleeping bag. A tent can also be picked up and functions as a respawn for your entire team. So what I did was I created a nice little campsite. I did this one by hand, but you can actually go under this. You go under groups, go under Guerilla, and then there's a bunch of different camps that you can set up real quick. Let me see if I can just find one. If I really wanted to set up a camp like this, you know, Camp Deer, whatever, Camp Ant. It's just like a bunch of sleeping bags and stuff. Just really basic stuff. And you can set that up if you want, or you can do it by hand like I did. So I did this by hand real quick, make it feel authentic. I've got a map of Altus, blah blah blah. Another thing that I did to add to the realism, this is all about immersion. This type of mission file is very, or not mission file, but this type of mission is very story driven. So you want your players to feel like they're playing a story, and that's what I'm going for with this. So you go under scenario flow and go under briefing. This one that I had created, this is called Operation Enduring Freedom. You are part of a small indie outfit. Blue 4 and Op 4 have invaded your homeland, and are currently fighting for dominion over it. You will not stand for either side. You must fight to claim larger weapons so that you can hit the enemy where it really hurts. So they get that briefing when they load into the map. They read that. Okay, cool. I created a scenario name, Operation Enduring Freedom. So when they load in, that will appear on their screen. It'll say in the bottom right, like, Operation Enduring Freedom. And then they're like, oh, sweet, this is an actual mission, you know? Cool. You can do things like countdown. You can give them a certain amount of lives. But you don't really want to mess with the countdown or the certain amount of lives until players actually join. Since I don't have anybody in here, I don't really know, like, oh, I have like 5 people playing, maybe I'll give them 20 lives, whatever. You know, you set that up as the mission progresses. You can always change it as the mission progresses, etc., etc. So first mission, get into the vehicle. Once they get into the vehicle, that's completed. So you unlock it, they get in, completed. Cool. So they're gonna get in the air. They're gonna take off, and they're going to fly to this ambush location that I have set up. So let's just jump to that ambush location. Now this is none of this is normally on the map. I created this all by hand. You can see I made it really authentic, added you know, a gas station with a little mechanic and destroyed vehicles, blah blah blah. I've got some Easter eggs hidden within the place, and right here is where it says ambush location. So this is the bridge, yada yada yada. The objective that I created right here is set up ambush location. So once they get in the chopper, I'll assign this objective. So I click here. A lot of people don't know about this. This is how you can control the objectives that are being seen by the current players. So when I create an objective, let's see, let's just go to objectives. The default ones are good for basic stuff like attack, defend, control sector, get in vehicle, move, blah blah blah. But since I like to really handhold, I really like to control it to the T. I like to micromanage. That's a good word. I like to micromanage. So this allows you to micromanage the created, the succeeded, failed, canceled, and when it actually becomes assigned, you can control groups, blah blah blah, and you can create a specific title and give a specific description to your players, and that adds another level of realism that they should like. So what I did was I created the city, put some civilians in, some animals, whatever. It feels authentic. It feels like a real living, breathing city. Added a bunker here so that they hopefully they notice this. Put some cami netting on it and a machine gun inside. So that's kind of a little Easter egg. You know, I've got other little Easter eggs like the skeleton. Now Easter eggs and stuff, they're not really important for immersion, but if you've got a lot of time, like I had a lot of time to set all this up, it probably took me like half hour, 45 minutes, and I just sat and I just added like little fun things. So if they are actually really into it and they're exploring or whatever, I reward the players. So if they actually go into this house and they look around, I had a chem light right here. It went away. Chem light. So I set up a chem light inside this house, and they might notice, oh, there's a green glow coming from that room. So they'll go in here and they'll find, oh, what's this? A UAV terminal. They'll pick that up, and then they'll have access to this little UAV, and that would be a pretty big asset for them with this current objective. So the current objective, once they get here and they set up that ambush, I'll assign this convoy to start rolling down the road. So on the map I have these objectives that kind of guide the players on what they're doing and gives them a sense of direction, like what's going on. So I have this as the Blue 4 convoy start. I have this as their fictional destination, like where they're trying to get to. And for Zeus purposes, the convoy is actually starting over here. I'll show you the convoy real quick. Okay, so the convoy, I have them all right here. Now, the reason I'm having the convoy start here instead of here is you don't want... The AI is sometimes unpredictable. So if I tell the AI to drive here, and they start over here, they might try to cut across the airstrip or do some crazy bullshit. So I just have it here. That way, it gives a sense of, you know, to the players, they might get the sense of, oh, the convoy's been on the road for a while. It adds immersion. It adds another level. They haven't, you know, we're not attacking them right out the gate. They've actually, you know, we're catching them off guard. It adds that level. So a lot of people don't know this, but what we'll do is we'll grab like the convoy and we'll tell them to start driving down the road.
Roger that.
Now, to control the convoy, you can actually double click this waypoint. I'll put them in a column and I'll limit their speed. So if you don't do that, they'll be like all over the road. They'll be in like a wedge formation sometimes. They'll be like, it's just annoying and it doesn't look real. The only problem is sometimes these guys are retarded and they like to go bumper to bumper like this. But at least it's better than having them all over the road. So they'll be driving slow. There'll be a convoy. I'll obviously have the marshals on either side protecting them, and then eventually they will... Oops. Totally didn't mean to do that. Eventually they will get to the objective, and then they will get ambushed, and yada yada yada. So what I did on top of that, didn't mean to go there. want these? I want cars, transport.
Standing by.
I'll have this
Standing
open.
by.
So the players can get a sense of realism. What I did was I took a rifle squad
Ready for orders.
and a sniper
Ready
team.
for orders.
You tell all these guys
Understood.
to get into the truck. So I've got this. Let me go over here again real quick. Transport box.
Awaiting orders.
Copy.
Ready
Paste.
for orders.
If you didn't know, you can copy and paste with Control C and Control V. It adds it saves you so much time. So when the actual ambush starts, what I'll do is I'll set up like a move objective,
Solid copy.
and I'll have them unload. So eventually, once they get there, I'll tell them to drive there and unload, because obviously the ambush will start, and then I'll have them unload, and then they'll have to fight this squad. Now you got to remember that players will loot enemies. Let me just kill the fuel on this real quick so it shuts off. So players will loot enemies. They'll check for extra guns. They'll do whatever. Players will do what players will do. So what I did was I put those snipers in here so that when they kill this rifle squad, it will reward them. They'll get a sniper rifle. They'll get an extra rocket launcher. Blah blah blah. And once the actual objective of destroying this convoy is completed, I'll spawn in. I'll go to empty. I'll go to other. Ammo, and I'll spawn in like 1 or 2 crates. I'll give them like a launcher crate, so they get some titans, blah blah blah. So the guerrilla faction's getting stronger. They're growing. They have new rocket launchers, etc., etc. So once that's completed, I'll give them a new objective. Now my new objective is down here, right here. I created a base right here. I'll double click this objective. I'll assign that. Or this objective will stay on the map permanently, but I will actually create a physical objective, a side objective right next to it that says "Come attack this base." So the players will have. I'll unlock a vehicle, or I'll have a vehicle drive through town that they can commandeer or something like that, and I'll have them start driving, and they'll start driving, and they'll drive all the way around, or whatever. This is not here at this point. This has not been created. This is for the future, so just ignore this stuff. So they'll drive around and they'll start heading down towards this base, and I'll have them veer off, because you have to remember, you have to compensate for the AI and how ridiculous they can be sometimes. So I've got this huge base over here, and I don't want these tanks to notice them driving down the road. So I'll have a side objective, go pick up an ammo cache, like a friendly ammo cache or something over in this city right here. So cool. They'll pop over there, pick up that ammo cache, and then they'll start heading down this way. When they get to about Chakra or whatever, I'll assign the side objective that they didn't know about. And the side objective, if I double click on it, it's called Visit a Friend. A wealthy businessman agrees with your cause. He has a gift for you. So, oh, what's that? So it's a side objective. If they choose to accept it, if they choose to ignore it, I hope that they accept it. They'll get here, and this businessman, this indie guy who is like super rich, I guess, you're simulating that he's giving them an empty tank, like a brand new indie tank, a mortar, and a lot of people don't know, but you can actually talk through Zeus. So what I'll do is I'll go to direct chat. I'll just sit right here and I'll be like, "Hey guys, I really agree with your cause. Enjoy this free tank and this mortar system. Good luck." And they'll be like, "Oh, sweet, awesome," and then they can hop in this tank. And you also gotta remember, like, players are gonna do what players are gonna do. So they're probably gonna drive up here and sit here and try to snipe into the base. So what I did preemptively was I took some of the tanks and stuff and I hid them in the back of the base. I put this tank behind this building. Sorry, I'm hiccuping and burping at the same time. Oh, it's weird. So that they can't just snipe everybody inside the base. Obviously, you want them to use the tank to take out a lot of this random infantry, random defenses, and so that they can actually get across the bridge and storm the base. But you also want them to have to actually get into the base to get in with the nitty-gritty. And I took this and I just created, you want the base to feel authentic, so I put like bunkers on either side to simulate that there's going to be enemy armor within the base. Maybe it's like a missile base or something like that, and they can let their imaginations run wild. And once they take this objective, you obviously they've got tanks now. They're pretty geared up. They're whatever. Maybe they lost their tank. You kind of play it by ear, and you can continue to create objectives. There's no limit to how far you can take this. You can do a million different things. Like one objective that I was kind of messing around with, it's not completed yet, but let's see if I can find it real quick. I'll jump to it. I had made this before in another game, and it was freaking fantastic. So once they complete that objective, what I would do is I'd have them come do this one. So you guys get the idea. Continue on, continue on, continue on. I'm just using this video to give you guys some ideas on things that you can do. This objective, which I had created for a previous game, is called hijacking. NATO forces have hijacked an independent flight at the terminal. Clear the entire terminal, room for room. Maybe I'll add in, like, watch out for civilians or something. So what I'll do is I'll go in room by room and I'll add individual players. I've got a machine gunner here. Over here I've got a civilian. Maybe this guy, just like up on the roof. I think I put like a paratrooper or something. Yeah, that guy's got a backpack. He paratrooped on the roof like a fucking badass or something like that. And maybe I'll set up a sniper in this terminal, and I'll put like razor wire in some of the doorways. I'll put a landmine, like a tripwire mine in that little doorway, and I'll if you're gonna put mines down, that's one thing that can really piss players off. If you're gonna put mines down, at least give them like a warning. Be like, before they get in there, I'll be like, I'll throw down some intel that says, you know, keep an eye out for enemy landmines or something. So put a tripwire mine in there, and I'll put like a few more civilians and a few more enemies all over, maybe a mounted machine gun or something. So it's a fucking awesome mission for them because, you know, everybody wants to simulate that SWAT team experience. So they'll go in there, they'll go room by room, they'll clear it out, and this is the type of objective that the players can fail. You know, you want them to succeed. In most objectives, you want them to have fun. You want them to continue. You want them to succeed. But they don't have any. They don't have much riding on this objective, so you can actually have them fail pretty easily. I mean, if they kill a civilian, don't hesitate to, you know, tell them that they failed the objective. It adds a sense of realism. It adds to that immersion. And once they complete it, I mean, if you really want to, you can give them a jet. If you have like, you know, 10 people playing and one of them's a jet, then, you know, one guy can hop in the jet and provide close air support for the rest of the missions, and the mission grows from there, and it continues on, and it just gets better and better. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys learned a thing or two. I know my commentary's kind of been all over the place, but this is Zeus. I don't think is played enough. I try to get my buddies in to come play, and a lot of time they're like, oh, let's just go play the King of the Hill or Wasteland or whatever. But a lot of people don't realize that Zeus is an amazing tool. The possibilities are absolutely endless. You can create the best objectives ever. You know, not only that, when you're Zeus, you're not just the game master. If you really want to, you can fucking, what I'll do is I'll come in here and I'll take control of this civilian, and I'll like run around and I'll go into panic mode. I'll go into direct communication and be like, oh my god, I'm gonna die, come on, please save me, don't shoot me, blah blah blah. And I'll just create like pandemonium. I'll create that extra level of immersion, and it's a lot of fun. You could take over the enemy, and you can drive the tank and, you know, snipe or whatever, and it's just so much fun. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling at this point, so I'm gonna wrap up the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Blah 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 blah. Subscribe. Peace. Oh shit! Here we go.